The following is an unpaid message for Carl Segno. Voting, when you know you can't change anything, is like trying to pick up objects with your shadow. And in response to Justin Trudeau's comment about how voting isn't cool, What? Yo, I'm cool. What? Hello, I'm Carl Segno, and this is my probably third attempt to answer video question 3. I've been kind of stalled. Every time I tried to record this, all I come up with was like a rant against Justin Trudeau, or some complicated anthem in favor of civil society. So I thought, why don't we simplify things? Let me tell you a story about voting. In the street, I met an old lady, and proudly she announced to me, "I voted for the Liberal Party." I said, "Oh, that's good," and she informed me that she had put an X in the box next to the Liberal Party, and then just to be sure, because there was another Liberal Party at the bottom of the ballot, she put an X next to that one too. BC doesn't have two Liberal parties. No, what she'd done is she'd voted for the Liberal Party and the Libertarian Party. And I could not imagine two more thoroughly opposed ideologies than that. I think that story is a testament to just how ludicrous voting can be. I feel empowered. Then we've got Justin Trudeau saying that voting is stepping forward, taking a stand, caring about what happens in the future. And when you don't even know the difference between the Liberal Party and the Libertarian Party, I don't know that you can be making those kinds of decisions. Even when people know who they're voting for, that doesn't mean that they've been able to carry out the change that they want to see in the world. Take the fall of the Conservative Party, for example. It's 1993, there's a big recession. Brian Mulroney brings forward the GST. Not everybody likes that so much, so the Canadian people decide to spank the Conservative Party. Then we have 10 years of Liberals. BAM! Montgomery. Somebody needs a spanking. Now, Canadians don't know what to do. They don't really want Conservatives in power, but they're certainly not ready to trust the Liberals again. Tell me, where does that put us? Where does that put us? To me, it feels like voting is at best people's attempt to do their part in preventing a potential worst-case scenario. I'm sorry, but in terms of political participation, you get what you put into it. And you've got to put more into it than a piece of paper and a ballot box once every 4 years. And you know, Canadian young people get that. They don't go to the ballot box for change. They go to the NGO sector. They go to homeless shelters. They go to political movement. In fact, StatsCan tells us that more young Canadians participate in activities other than voting than the number that actually vote. In 2004, that included me. So Justin, if you want my humble advice as a member of Canada's youth, don't bother with voting. You might not even need to bother reaching out to a generation of young people because, through participation in civil society and a host of non-voting political activities, young people are already reaching out to you. Give us all another video when you want to let us know how you're going to answer that call. If I were Prime Minister, I'd start counting spoiled ballots. I would tell people to spoil their ballot if they didn't find anybody worth supporting. Kind of like Chris Horkin's idea. If I were Prime Minister, I'd be honest with the Canadian people and not try to perpetuate the myth of the ballot box. If I were Prime Minister, I'd be humble enough to admit that I can't govern alone. And a message to my fellow candidates. If I were a candidate for Canada's next great Prime Minister, I would look for the strength inside me to refuse to play the game. Don't let 50 grand tempt you into role-playing as Canada's next great god king with exceptional power. If you want to pretend that when you speak your mind to those in power, someone is actually going to listen. Oh, also check out this net neutrality issue. If I were Prime Minister, I'd totally care about net neutrality. Who feels empowered? Word.